Have you ever imagined what the toughest, most extreme climate on planet Earth looks like? Well, there's a certain region in northeastern Russia where conditions for human habitation truly couldn't be more difficult. The region of Yakutia is widely known as one of the coldest, most brutal places on Earth, where midwinter temperatures regularly fall below minus 60 degrees Celsius. Visibility is often less than 5 meters, and the sun is completely blocked by an impenetrable layer of fog that lasts for months on end. You would think that with conditions like these, there's no way a society could function, and so-called normal life could operate. But there is actually a group of people that have called this region home for generations and have not only survived, but thrived. So how is day-to-day life in the so-called pole of cold different from ours? What do these hardy people need to do just to get through the day during the cold, dark, eerie winter months? Let's head to Yakutsk and find out. Imagine waking up in the coldest place on Earth, where every morning is a battle for survival. In northeastern Russia, there's a region called Yakutia, known for its extreme climate. With temperatures often plummeting below minus 60 degrees Celsius and visibility reduced to less than 5 meters, this place is one of the most brutal on the planet. In Yakutsk, the relentless cold demands a strong will to even get out of bed and heat your home. The region spans over 3 million square kilometers, but is home to only about 970,000 people, half of whom are Yakuts, with the rest being Russians and other minority groups. Despite the harsh conditions, the people of Yakutsk have called this region home for generations, thriving in the so-called pole of cold. Temperatures can drop from minus 20 to minus 49 degrees Celsius, with extreme lows reaching minus 71 degrees Celsius. The landscape is white and foggy, with frequent power cuts, frozen water pipes, and limited modern conveniences. You might think that a society couldn't function here, but the resilient inhabitants have adapted to this life. When people outside Russia think of the country, they often picture Moscow or St. Petersburg, two of its most famous cities and common travel destinations. However, Siberian regions like Yakutsk, located in the Republic of Sakha, remain largely unexplored, not just by international tourists, but even by most Russians themselves. To grasp the sheer scale of Russia's vastness, consider this. The journey from Moscow to Yakutsk spans approximately 8,000 kilometers by road, a grueling trip that is nearly impossible by car. Instead, the most practical option is a 7-hour flight. Moscow sits on Russia's western edge, while Yakutsk lies far to the east, highlighting the immense geographical spread of the country. In Yakutsk, survival revolves around warmth. The primary source of heating is the wood-burning stove, which remains lit for nearly 9 months straight and is never allowed to go out. Keeping warm is more crucial than even securing food. If your body temperature drops too low, the consequences can be severe, even fatal. Due to the extreme cold, markets in Yakutsk primarily sell naturally frozen goods, with fish being a staple. The harsh climate makes agriculture nearly impossible, so locals rely on fish from frozen lakes. Buying whole frozen fish and slicing it raw with sharp knives has become a culinary tradition. This dish is not just a local delicacy, but a necessity, offering both nutrition and protection against the cold. No one in Yakutsk refuses to eat it this way. It's a way of life. Another major challenge in Yakutsk is access to drinking water. The city has no water treatment plants or commercial bottled water suppliers. During the long winter, household pipes freeze and become unusable. Instead, residents trek to nearby rivers to collect ice, which they bring home in large chunks. Extracting this ice is no small feat. It requires teamwork and tools like motorized saws, harpoons, and axes to break through thick sheets of ice. Once collected, the ice is transported on tractors, distributed among homes, and placed in barrels to melt into drinkable water. These barrels serve as the household's primary water source for washing, drinking, and daily use. If you're visiting a Yakutsk home, don't expect water from the tap. Simply scoop what you need from the barrels in the corner of the house. Life in Yakutsk is particularly tough for families with children. Roads remain snow-covered and icy year-round, and schools remain open unless temperatures drop below -55 degrees Celsius. If the mercury plunges to -70 degrees Celsius, classes are suspended until conditions improve. Here, survival takes precedence over material wealth. People don't aspire to luxury cars or large homes. Instead, their focus is on protecting their families and enduring one of the harshest climates on Earth. Once you've managed to get out of bed, warm up the house, and complete your morning routine, it's time for breakfast. The people of Yakutsk favor high-fat meals, which provide energy and insulation against the cold. Breakfast often consists of greasy pancakes and rich, creamy foods, with pancakes doubling as bread dipped in jam. Refrigerators are unnecessary here. Food is naturally preserved either outside or in unheated storage areas within the home. And when you step outside, don't expect a warm fire nearby. The elements will remind you just how unforgiving life in Yakutsk can be. In Yakutsk, wearing at least 4 or 5 layers of clothing isn't just a habit, it's a way of life. Stepping outside requires fur coats and insulated boots, not for fashion, but for survival. The temperatures are so brutal that even a short exposure can be dangerous. No matter how well you bundle up, your eyelashes and eyebrows will still freeze within minutes. Linguistically, the Saka language is one of the oldest in human history, forming the foundation of many Central Asian language groups. Unlike Russian, it has a unique structure and vocabulary. Children in Yakutsk grow up bilingual, learning both Saka and Russian. While their native tongue connects them to their heritage, mastering Russian is essential for those who wish to explore opportunities beyond Yakutsk, especially in business and communication. Schools in Yakutsk follow an unusual tradition. Students receive small treats at the end of almost every lesson. Frequent eating is necessary to maintain energy in the harsh climate, so children are given fruit drinks, sweets, or snacks between classes. Families send their children to school even in freezing conditions, since distances between homes and schools are short, and the tightly knit community ensures everyone looks out for one another. Villages in Yakutsk are small, with populations rarely exceeding 1,000 people. Life revolves around mutual support and survival. There is little room for crime, discrimination, or social conflicts. People are too focused on enduring the extreme cold. With about half of Yakutsk's population belonging to the Saka ethnic group, the community remains close-knit, and outsiders rarely disrupt daily life. Navigating the city in winter is nearly impossible on foot due to the deep snow and bitter cold. Instead, people rely on cars or minibuses for transportation. With an average temperature of -40 degrees Celsius, exhaust fumes instantly turn into thick smog, sometimes reducing visibility to just a few meters. Protective eyewear is avoided because metal frames can freeze to the skin, causing painful injuries. During winter, most residents only venture into the city for shopping or essential errands. By 5 p.m., darkness sets in, and people retreat indoors. When you do see someone outside, they're wrapped head to toe in thick coats, furs, beanies, and scarves, because life in Yakutsk is 2 to 3 times colder than the inside of a refrigerator. Owning a personal car in Yakutsk requires extra care. Without underground parking, vehicles must be insulated with thick covers to prevent freezing. Many objects left outside become encased in ice, including laundry. Since drying clothes indoors is difficult, people hang them outside, where they freeze stiff like sheets of paper. Before wearing them, the frozen garments must be carefully warmed. The cold in Yakutsk is so extreme that even simple experiments can demonstrate its intensity. Throwing boiling water into the air turns it into instant ice crystals, and snacks freeze solid within seconds. Visitors can experience the region's frigid beauty firsthand at ice museums and sculpture parks built on permafrost, ground that remains frozen all year round. Most homes in Yakutsk are made of wood, which helps retain heat from continuously burning stoves. The region's wildlife has also adapted to these conditions, with some animals enduring temperatures as low as minus 70 degrees Celsius without freezing. In Yakutsk, survival isn't just about warmth. It's about resilience, adaptation, and an unbreakable connection to the land. When you visit Yakutsk, you'll quickly notice that animals like horses, deer, and dogs have incredibly thick coats of fur. Only the hardiest species have managed to survive the brutal Siberian cold, while others simply cannot endure the extreme conditions. In Yakutsk, repairing and maintaining household items isn't just a profession. It's a survival skill that every adult male is expected to master. Men spend their free time working in home workshops, passing down these essential skills to their sons. This is not merely a hobby, but a necessity. If your car breaks down, your roof starts leaking, or cracks form in the wooden walls of your home, it's up to you to fix them. No one is going to brave minus 70 degrees Celsius weather to come and repair your roof or sharpen your knives for cooking. In this unforgiving climate, self-sufficiency is key. Fishing is done on a large scale, as growing fruits and vegetables is impossible due to the severe climate. Locals gather at frozen rivers, cutting through the ice with harpoons and casting nets into the frigid waters below. They patiently wait for hours until they've caught enough fish for a meal. Once home, the women clean and prepare the fish, usually by boiling it in salt water. Grilling and other cooking methods are unnecessary when fish is a daily staple. If you dine at a restaurant in Yakutia, you'll encounter dishes that might seem unusual. Yakut cuisine revolves around milk, red meat, fish, and wild berries. Many traditional dishes feature horse meat and fish, often eaten slightly frozen or raw. One of the most famous specialties is stroganina, thinly sliced, raw, frozen trout. Those who have tried it describe the meat as tender, fresh, and packed with nutrients essential for surviving the cold. Horse meat, including frozen liver, is considered indispensable in Yakut culture. This tradition dates back to the Ice Age, when Yakuts relied on raw horse meat for survival, and it remains deeply respected today. In addition to eating horse meat, locals drink kumis, a fermented mare's milk, served cold in traditional cups. One thing visitors often wonder about is the toilet situation. Due to the extreme cold, plumbing infrastructure freezes, making indoor toilets impractical. Instead, outdoor toilet huts are built and used throughout the winter. Bathing is also a challenge. Most people take showers only once a week, typically on Sundays. To do so, they heat a separate shower hut with a wood fire for about 5 hours until the water reaches a suitable temperature. Yakutsk, the coldest major city on Earth, stands atop permafrost, frozen soil that never thaws. This foundation shapes daily life, creating both challenges and opportunities. A visit to the Permafrost Museum offers a rare glimpse into this icy world. Housed in a former ice cellar, the museum features tunnels where temperatures stay at minus 10 degrees Celsius year-round. Exhibits highlight permafrost's formation, role in the ecosystem, and its global climate impact. But permafrost isn't permanent. Rising temperatures are causing it to thaw, threatening Yakutsk's stability and way of life, an urgent reminder of climate change's growing reach. Daily life in Yakutsk is relatively simple, with limited recreational activities. Snowball fights are a common pastime, and some people play soccer on frozen ground or go sledding and skiing. Yakutsk's extreme cold shapes even its nightlife. While different from Russia's famous cities, this Siberian city offers a unique experience. Just as warmth is key to survival, it's also central to socializing. Evenings likely involve gatherings in warm homes, sharing stories and food. Though travel is difficult, community support is strong. Yakutsk's nightlife, like its daily life, reflects resilience and adaptation, a blend of practicality and celebration in a challenging but beautiful land. However, Yakutsk is perhaps best known for its diamond industry. Jewelry shops in the city sell high-quality diamonds, as Siberia has long been a major mining region in Russia. In the past, criminals were sent to these mines as punishment, while laborers seeking work and fortune arrived in Yakutsk to mine precious minerals. Today, the region remains one of the world's leading sources of diamonds and other valuable resources. This is everyday life in Yakutsk, a place isolated from the rest of the world, surrounded by vast, frozen landscapes. Could you imagine living here, miles away from major cities, where survival is a daily challenge? Write down in the comments section. Now, did you know why Burger King in Australia is known as Hungry Jack's? Bet you didn't. Click the video on your left and I'll see you in Australia.